Help others, like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications.
Shalom, my name is Joseph Shulam. I am the founder and the director, temporary director. I was the director for many years, and now I've returned to be the director temporarily, and working together with the young leaders that I appointed and anointed to be the continuation of Netivyah and of the Israel congregation, the Shepherd of Israel congregation in Jerusalem, and of the ministry in Israel. We have in the United States also Netivyah. It is now Netivyah International, and it deals with the international aspects of our ministry, and of course gives logistical support and financial support to Netivyah in Israel. So yesterday was Saturday, and the portion of the Torah that we read with all the synagogues around the world was called Beshalach, and it deals with Book of Numbers, chapter 13, 14, about sending this 12 spies. Each one was a president of his tribe. The 12 spies were sent by Moses, by the order of God, to spy out the land, to spy different aspects of the land, because the command came more than once in the text. And one is to spy out the agri. Is the land good? Is it agricultural? The fruit and the vegetation and all of this. The other aspect was the military aspect. Are the cities fortified? The communities with defensive, wall defensives, and other military strategic information. They go, they spend time in the land from north to south. They bring a report, and 10 of the spies that went came back with a very negative, hopeless attitude. The cities are fortified and strong, and the people are giants, and we're like grasshoppers in front of these people. We can't do it. We can't conquer the land. We can't take it. They forgot that God gave them the land to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, and promised it to the nation of Israel. So the 10 came with this bad report of the land that it can't be done. 2, Joshua the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Yefuneh came back with a positive report and said, we can do it. With God's help, we can do it. Well, years passed. In the meantime, they continue in the wilderness for another 38 years because of the lack of faith, the lack of trust that they had in God and in God's promises. So after a certain time, we don't know exact time, but after they crossed the Jordan River and after they begin to conquer the land, they sent 2 spies again. But this time they sent them only to the city of Jericho. As I said, it's one of the oldest cities in civilization. And city of Jericho is fortified with walls, and they're discovered. The spies are discovered. They have to run, they have to hide. So where do they go? They go to the house of, I suppose, a famous prostitute. That's what the Hebrew text says. That's what the Greek text says. I don't remember what the English text says. I guess so. Prostitute, named by name of Rahab. Now, the interesting thing about this Rahab is not only the story in the book of Numbers and the book of Joshua, But the fact that she's one of the 4 women in Matthew chapter 1 that make up the genealogy of Yeshua, the genealogy of Jesus. What's interesting is that all the 4 women have a dubious past or a dubious present. They all have problems. Rahab was not the only one that is prostitute, but Tamar, the mother of Judah, that had enticed Judah to the Judah, the son of Jacob, uh, enticed Judah by dressing up as a prostitute and sitting in the road and soliciting the travelers. And she solicits Judah, and they have sex, and the son that is born is the father of the tribe of Judah. Yes, the father of the tribe of Judah is born from this illicit, incestuous relationship, because Tamar was married to the son of Judah, and the son of Judah died, and according to the law, the levirate marriage, Judah was supposed to give the last son that he had to Tamar as a husband. Of course, she was much older than him, and since his first son died, he was afraid that his last son would die also, that she was like a femme fatale, and he doesn't do it, so she seduces Judah as a prostitute. And Tamar is in the genealogy of Jesus, and Rahab, the prostitute, is in the genealogy of Jesus, and Bathsheba is in the genealogy of Jesus, and Ruth, the Moabite, is in the genealogy of Jesus. All these 4 women essentially were, say, Gentiles, not Israelites, and all of them had dubious past, and they are the mothers in that genealogy in Matthew chapter 1. And Rahab is one of them. But let's go back to the book of Joshua. So the spies, the 2 spies, the Israelite spies, are detected, discovered, they have to run. Where do they run? They run to Rahab the prostitute's house. That was on the wall of Jericho. This is not unusual, because a lot of the walled cities had in the Middle East, long before, even before Abraham, had what's called chessmate walls. The walls were made from 2 walls with interconnecting walls that made small rooms, and that made the wall much stronger, like the difference between a piece of cardboard and a piece of flat cardboard and a piece of corrugated cardboard. So they come to Rahab's house on the wall, and the secret police of Jericho is looking for them, and Rahab, except she's a businesswoman, so she makes a business contract with him and says, if I save you, if I let you out of my window to the outside of the walled city, you have to, when you conquer the land, when you conquer Jericho, you have to save me and all my family, my father, my mother, my brothers, my sisters, all my family, you have to save. And you have to swear and have a contract, an agreement that this is what's going to happen. And they agree, and she is letting a cable, red cable, crimson cable, out of the window to the outside of the wall, and the spies, she gives instruction to the spy how to run away, what road to take, where to go, and they do, and they get saved. They get saved, and the text is very interesting. In the agreement that they make with Rahab, the prostitute, in chapter 2 of the book of Judges, in verse 15, Joshua chapter 2, verse 15, it says that, well, I'll read from Joshua chapter 2, the agreement that the two spies, the Israelite spies, make with Rahab. So the man said to her, "We will be blameless of this oath of yours, which you have made us swear, unless when we come into the land, you bind this line of scarlet cord in the window through which you let us down. And unless you bring your father, your mother, your brothers, and all your father's household to your own home, then we can't save you." That's part of the agreement. Now we hear this, the text says that she has a line, a cord of scarlet color, material. Now, the problem with this translation is this. We have set in this text several different words for cord. Every time that it's mentioned, you have the word that is translated line, yeah, and the word that is translated cord. One is hevel, and the other one is chut. Chut they have different kinds of chut. You have a chut that you sew with, sewing thread, but here is the word chut means a cord. Yeah, the hevel, which means a rope, and chut means a cord. So there's two words in this text that describe the cord. But the problem is that that's not what the Hebrew word says. The Hebrew word has another word, the word tikva, which means hope, not rope, but hope. And the text reads the hope, not the rope. Yeah, the hope of the scarlet cord. That's what she doesn't say this. She says rope, she says cord, but not hope. The two spies, when they repeat the line, they say to her that this agreement of letting them down, saving their lives, and the promise that they will save her family's life is the hope of the scarlet rope. That's the Hebrew. The translators couldn't make sense of it. What does it mean, the hope of the scarlet rope? So they translated it. One was line, the other one was cord. And that's how the English translation and the other translations translate it. 99% of the time, that's how the translators understand it. From Joshua chapter 2, verse 15 to 18, that's the discussion. But it bothered me. Why did it bother me? It bothered me because you have the word line, you have the word cord, and the word that is used one time, tikva, hope, the word for hope, is translated by the translators also rope or cord or line, scarlet line, scarlet hope, scarlet. Well, it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. The hope of the scarlet thread, or the scarlet rope, or the scarlet cable. The hope of the scarlet cable. The one that you used when you let us down out of the window to the outside of the wall. You hang that one in your window, and your house and your family will be protected, will not be destroyed when we conquer Jericho. It bothered me enough to say, what could that mean? What does it mean, the hope of the scarlet rope? Well, I was beginning to think, this is a unique thing. The hope of the scarlet rope. Well, for Rahab, the hope of the salvation of her family from the war, from the collapse of the walls of Jericho, is that rope, that scarlet rope. That was the hope for the salvation of this Gentile family with a daughter that is with a reputation. The hope of her salvation was that she did a big favor to these two Israelites that came to spy the city of Jericho. So I was thinking about this. I was thinking about it, that this woman ends up in the New Testament as the ancestor of King David and the ancestor of Yeshua himself. She's a part of the genealogy of Yeshua in Matthew chapter 1. What did she do to gain that positive notoriety? Well, she saved two Jews. That's what she did. No, Israelites, let's say. Not Jews, Israelites. She saved two Israelites that were spying the land, spying the city of Jericho, its defenses, its capabilities, and its weak points and strong points. That's what she did. That's very important. And especially today, it's very important. Where since the beginning of this year, antisemitism has increased with over 350%. all throughout the world, and especially in the Western world, especially in Europe, in the Americas, in South Africa, in Turkey, in Russia. Over 350% increase of attacks against Jews, uh, beating up Jews in the streets of Brooklyn and New York, damaging Jewish property, going to a synagogue and shooting on the Sabbath day innocent people who went there to pray. Yes, this prostitute that saved two Israelites saved her whole family and saved herself and became an honorable personality in the genealogy of King David, and through that, the genealogy of Jesus Christ. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? I hope all of you take this seriously. I will end this teaching with a story from Baal Shem Tov, a very, very famous rabbi that lived in the 17th century, beginning of the 18th century in Poland, a place that was sometimes in Poland, sometimes in Belarus. Baal Shem Tov is his name. He's the founder of Hasidic Judaism. His disciples, each one started his own Hasidic court, not in the sense of courthouse, but court, people who are following one of his disciples. When he died, each disciple started his own kind of sub-denomination within Orthodox Judaism. There is 80 of them today, Hasidic groups. So this Baal Shem Tov, on the summer days in Poland, after the worship in the synagogue, eating lunch, would take a walk, kind of to move his body, to exercise a little bit. Walking the same route every week, and in Poland, like in Greece and in Russia, in Romania, in all the Slavic countries, Eastern European countries, if there is an accident or something, people want to donate for a sick member of their family, they build a little shrine on the side of the road. In the shrine, there is little house-shaped box on top, or some kind of box on top. Inside there is candles and matches and an icon of Jesus and an icon of Mary. And you can stop as you journey the road. You stop there and you light up a candle and say a prayer. So Rabbi Baal Shem Tov is walking Saturday, and he passes by one of those shrines on the side of the road, and he hears somebody crying. He looks around, right, left, front, back, doesn't see anybody. Keeps on walking. On the way back, passing the same place, he still hears somebody crying. He said, "This is impossible. I have to find who's crying." So he looks around, and not far from the shrine, sitting on the ground, crying, dirty, shoeless Jew, crying. And he says, Jewish brother, what's the problem? Why are you crying? The poor guy with the poor clothing, with the poor hygiene, without shoes, says, I'm crying because my disciples are persecuting my brothers. My disciples are persecuting my brothers. That's why I'm crying. The name of the person doesn't exist in the story. It's an Orthodox Jewish Hasidic story in a book called The Stories of Baal Shem Tov. My disciples are persecuting my brothers. That's what I want to draw from this text of Joshua chapter 2. This woman who's a sinner, who is a prostitute, saves herself and saves her family by blessing two Israelite spies that came to her city to spy it out, to find out the defenses, the weak spots, the strong spots, what to do. She does a favor to these two Israelites, Joshua, traditionally, Joshua and Caleb, the two spies that had a positive attitude earlier, when 10 of the spies were negative and faithless and hopeless. These two spies, Joshua and Caleb, were positive, with faith, believing in God, believing that God is going to save them. That's the thing. So you, my friends and brothers around the world, remember, the hope of the scarlet rope, the scarlet cord, the scarlet thread, all these names are called in that chapter 2 of Joshua. The hope of that scarlet thread came to that family of Rahab because she did something good, a favor, saved two Jews from the hands of the Stasi of Jericho, the hands of the SS of Jericho, and helped them escape. And when the walls of Jericho fell, after the children of Israel blew their trumpets and shouted around the walls of Jericho several times, the leaders of Israel, the generals of the armies of Israel, saw that scarlet thread hanging off the wall from the window of Rahab, the prostitute, and she and her whole family were saved. And they were the ancestors of Yeshua, of Jesus. God bless you all. Remember, help the Jew, protect the Jew, endow the Jew, because saving one soul is like saving the whole world. But saving one Jew, one Israelite, gives you not only a blessing in this world, but a blessing to know Yeshua, the Messiah, and to rejoice in his salvation. May God bless you all and bless everything you do. In Yeshua's name, amen.
Help others, like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications.